Good morning. Hey, it's strong. I am feeling strong. Let me turn down the music. There we go. Let me turn it down now. There you are. That's it. That's it. Hope that rhythm has enlivened you. This is the Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action and where success is ours for the taking. Be in no doubt. Be in no doubt. Let's get the systems working properly. Yep. Connected, of course, to Galaxy Net, the de-brainwashing station, digital radio, live and direct. Yes, I give praise, of course, to Giant King, who's taken us from night to day. And the presenter will come after me, after 10 o'clock. That's, of course, Empress Undi's sister, Shanice. Long may they stay strong. But this is the Motivator Show, I say again, where you will translate words into action and where success is ours for the taking. I'm feeling good, and I hope you're feeling good. This is a live transmission going out via Facebook under The Motivator Show, DE space Motivator Show, live via YouTube, again under The Motivator Show. Okay, so you can both see and hear my personage. And of course, for those who are audio addicts, also going live via Mixcloud, again under The Motivator Show. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling invigorated. I'm feeling strong. Why? Well, I did my exercise of the day. And today's show will focus on that which makes us feel good. But what we could do to prevent those maladies I refer to every week from directly impacting upon you, your loved ones, your friends, your network. Yeah, we will fight back, not by ourselves, at lone rangers, but together as a community, the family, It's a network of people of common aim, common purpose. That's what we're going to do. But before all of that, let me first of all thank all of those of you who participated in these transmissions. I know it's a bit tough. I know those of you who are watching the recordings, we go out live from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. Why? Because it's the early birds who make the success. You want to find successful people? You look at those who wake up early and are active early, preparing for the day to come. I show you success. I will show you success. But stay strong, everyone. Stay strong. If you wish to communicate with the studio at any point during this particular transmission, you can, of course, communicate with us via the chat facility that's available both on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Okay, so you can communicate with us via the chat facility on Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to press hi. There you are. So you know that the chat facility is open. Any questions, any message you might have, feel free. Contact us via the chat facility. I may or may not, he says, read your message out. But a big thumbs up for those of you who are watching us via Facebook and or YouTube. Give us the thumbs up, the affirmation. Our content meet with your satisfaction. Give us the thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, if you are on YouTube, come on, just subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's further affirmation that the content meet with your satisfaction. Please, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, why don't you follow the Demotivator page? Just follow, yeah? Just follow us. And let's continue to increase the number of thousands who regularly watch this show. I applaud you. I thank you for your support. And long may it continue. But today's show, as I say, is a serious show. It will focus on matters of deep concern to us all, not just to me, but to us all. But before I do that, I just want to, if I may, give affirmation to past contributors to the show. And I found this particular part to be important to me. Okay. Last week, we were honored with the presence of Ndidi Ishiwa, okay, an author, political activist, a Nigerian of enormous repute. And she was able to offer insights and thoughts on how Jamaica can improve its constitution. She affirms, of course, that the constitution of Nigeria, as is the constitution of Jamaica, not fit for purpose, and requires the people to affirm its content. It meets with our collective aspirations, ambitions for ourselves, our families, our communities, our nations. So change is absolutely necessary. Next week, just for the reference, I'll play the second part of the Jamaica Constitution. Okay, you recall on the previous occasion we transmitted the speech given by Judge Patrick Robinson, United Nations judge, able to provide an overview on what it meant and what the consequences are and of the chattel enslavement of our ancestors. And Britain, Europe, America owes us trillions of dollars in restitution. And he will break it down. He will provide clear, insightful analysis why it is justifiable under international law, both 500 years ago and in today's international law. It will happen next week. Last time it was his speech. This time will be the interview with the motivator. So watch this space. It will be an exciting occasion. But I also want to give a big thumbs up to those of you who continue to watch and learn from each of our transmissions. And I hope that particular show you found extremely informative. I hope you find it informative. Ndidi is a remarkable person. She'll be back. Don't you worry. A remarkable person. Ndidi Ishiwa. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into the lifestyle messages. Lifestyle messages because many of you be aware, in addition to my hat here as the motivator, I'm also an elected official. So I see the official stats, in this case, the official health stats, statistics, if you like, and they make for uncomfortable reading. Truly uncomfortable reading. Therefore, it's incumbent upon me to spend 10, 15 minutes whenever I have the opportunity transmitting live to you all to communicate common sense lifestyle messages. And those of you who were watching the intro video on YouTube and Facebook will understand what I mean by this makes for uncomfortable reading, and I will explain after the lifestyle messages. Because after the lifestyle messages, we are going to speak and have the pleasure to interview the inspired diabetic. Yeah? What a name, huh? The inspired diabetic. He's not just sitting down, laying down and taking it. He fought back and won. And he will share with you all how he continues to win even till today. Anyway, let's go right into it. You see, I'm sweating after my exercise is only one. Yes, let's begin. I ask you to consider the amount of sugar and salt that you consume, you eat every day. I ask you to consider. I ask you to specifically consider sugar in particular. Okay? I've shared with you, I've got a sweet tooth. And as a child, I developed the addiction for sugar, my sweet tooth. Yeah, it's another word for addiction, but it's a pretty way of saying you have a sugar addiction, and therefore food doesn't taste the same unless you add sugar to it. Yeah? And only this week, there's someone who I respect greatly, who's also got a sweet tooth, a sugar addiction. Is it him? And he would know this conversation when he's listening, okay, or viewing. He said, well, I don't add sugar, the motivator. I had honey. But I responded straight away, as you'd expect. But honey is just another form of sugar. I know it comes from bees, admittedly, yeah? But it's still concentrated sugar. And your body doesn't need it. And in this particular case, the person who I met had put on weight, in fact, and we'll get on to weight later on and its consequences, had put on weight. I'd not seen him for a little while, had put on weight, and you will know who I'm talking about. Yeah, had put on weight. But to supplement the sugar, he thought by taking in honey to satisfy his addiction, the so-called sweet tooth. I ask you to consider the long-term implications of taking in excessive quantities of sugar. Typically, we get sufficient sugar from our normal foods. Okay? Typically, we receive sufficient sugar from our normal foods, particularly if it's fruits and vegetables. Yeah? We receive sufficient sugar. Okay? We do not need to add sugar to our cuisine. Okay. And I know that those of you from the Caribbean, particularly from, where you have those large sugar plantations, or those of you in the United States or Brazil, those large sugar plantations, you were compelled by others to include sugar as part of your cuisine. And you continue that habit, that tradition, as it were, till today, when we know better. But it's going to require a collective effort to enable those of us in the communities who are addicted to sugar and feel we're unable to taste the food unless sugar is tainted by sugar. Note the word, tainted by sugar. So I ask you to consider the long-term implications of excessive consumption of sugar, or sucrose, you might be described in other places. Sucrose, yeah? But essentially it's simply sugar, okay? I ask you to consider it, yeah? Those with teeth that are a bit rotting, usually caused by excessive consumption of sugar. And those of you with diabetes, and we'll come to that later on, will understand the connection between your diabetes and your lifestyle. Yeah? And therefore, the inspired diabetic later on will provide an introduction as to how to change your lifestyle, and most certainly how to change what you eat in order to manage or reduce significantly the impact of diabetes on your lives. So please, it begins with the overconsumption of sugar or sucrose. I ask you to consider it. It's not an instruction, I'm not an expert. If in doubt, speak to your doctor, speak to your nutritionist, speak to whoever has access to your medical records. He or she will be ideally placed to give you the professional opinion. Mine is but common sense advice. I ask you to consider the amount of sugar you are consuming. I no longer purchase sugar from the grocery store. I no longer do so. And I've shared with you previously, it took just under 10 years to not only stop buying sugar from the grocery store, from feeling the need to add sugar to my diet. But equally, of course, I ask you all to consider the amount of salt that we consume every day. This was a much easier ingredient for me to stop adding to my cuisine, to my meals. But nevertheless, there are many of you out there who conclude that food doesn't taste the same if it's not tainted. I again use the word tainted by salt. It's an illusion that we created our minds that we need salt, added salt to our cuisine, to what we eat. We do not. I repeat, we generally do not. There may be some very, very specific cases, but if in doubt, I say again, speak to a professional, speak to a nutritionist, speak to a nutritional pharmacist, speak to your doctors, speak to your GP, whoever has access to your medical record. But generally, we do not need to add sugar and salt to our foods, to our cuisines. Okay? Really very, very important. The hardening of the arteries that it subsequently causes, and therefore requiring additional pressure by your heart. The rising of your internal blood pressure is a very dangerous condition. Hypertension or high blood pressure is another one of those prevalent public health conditions that pervades people of African and particularly South Asian origin because of our overconsumption of sugar and salt. This is not an instruction. It is not an instruction. I'm attempting to encourage you to think through the consequences of your action. It is vital for our long-term health and well-being. So I ask you to consider the amount of salt that you consume every day and the consequential impact it may have on your general health. High blood pressure or hypertension is a big public health concern in our communities. I also ask you to consider the amount of carbohydrates and fat that you consume every day. Now, carbohydrate traditionally from our wheat-based products and some root products, wheat and root produce, I should say, particularly the yams. But wheat we consume every day, particularly those of us who live in the West. We consume wheat every day, typically in bread. Okay? And many of us also have so-called hard fruit or yams, which is jam-packed full of carbohydrates. Okay? Which what our bodies do with this when we consume it in excess is, of course, we store it in our bodies. The consequence of storing it in our bodies is what? We get and develop bloated abdomens, bloated shoulders. Yeah, you see the shoulders, you see the neck like this. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, bloated abdomen. See those protruding abdomens, bloated thighs. Both men and women with those big thighs. And you see them boom, 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 boom. Yes, enjoying it. That's what it looks like and sounds like. And of course, those bloated bottoms or buttocks in other places. There you know. Yeah. That's a direct result of the overconsumption of carbohydrates. Yeah. Overconsumption. In other words, we're eating too much. So our bodies store it in the anticipation, he says, of a rainy day that never arrives. Terrible, huh? Absolutely terrible. You see far too many members of our community with bloated abdomens, thighs, and buttocks. Okay? Further exacerbated by the overconsumption of fat. Yep. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Overconsumption of fat. If you buy the meat, you see the white streak, yeah, it's fat. If you're consuming the dairy products, yeah, cheese, it's just another form of cow's fat. Margarine, butter, not quite so hard, but another form of cow's fat. The white streaks in the steak, another form of cow's fat, in particular so-called steaks. Yeah, the lamb. When you see, if you grill it, you see the clear fluid coming out of it. Yes, it's water, but primarily fat. And our body believe we've got to store it in anticipation of a rainy day. Remarkable, isn't it? That's what we do internally. We store it. And that's why you see so many members of our community walking around with excess weight. BMI above 25, then you are obese. Yeah? In polite company, you might say, you're fat. And you're carrying excess weight. The consequences, of course, can be quite profound for all of us, not just those who are carrying the excess weight. It is profound because you are most certainly forestalling yourself for a long, healthy life. It is a profound observation, and it's so prevalent in our communities. And we'll get to this later on. The prevalence of obesity in our community, it is quite profound. I'll quote some stats later on. It is quite profound, absolutely profound. Okay, but it's an aspect of ourselves we can, and I urge you, we must control. The overconsumption of carbohydrates and fat is a public health concern. It must be a concern, therefore, to those of us of African heritage, South Asian heritage in particular. It must be a concern to yourself, for your loved ones, the wider community, and wider networks. It must be a concern to you. And I get it, it is tough. The last ingredient is, of course, the rice or starch. Mm-hmm. In previous weeks, you've been using the term. It was suggested that I shouldn't, but this time I'm going to use the term starch from rice. And those of you from the Caribbean, and particularly from Jamaica, you might say, rice and peas. Yes, I get it. Yeah, staple, huh? Those of you from West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, yes, I get it. I get it, yeah? I get the jollof rice, yeah? Well, I know the Nigerians and Ghanaians argue who originated jollof rice, but it's okay. It's a staple, integral part of the cuisine. Mm-hmm. Consumed every day. I assert to you, it's not the consumption of it every day is the challenge, it's the overconsumption, the quantum per serving, that's the problem for us. I'm told by the experts, no more than a fistful of food per sitting. Yes, a fistful. Yeah, I get it. That's challenging. You may be encountering this information for the very first time. No more than a fistful is required per sitting. It is a challenge once you've formed a habit to change your habit. I get it, I get it, I get it. Don't you worry. That's why I communicate these messages to you every week. Strong, if you like, so that you can indeed be strong. Together, you are not by yourself. You are not alone. It is vital that we pay attention to our needs of our bodies, our needs of our loved ones, the needs of our communities. Okay? Pay attention. The overconsumption of rice is a big problem in our community. The overconsumption. Yeah, not consumption, it's the overconsumption. Similarly, the carbohydrates, it's not the consumption of it, it's the overconsumption, consuming far too much. So our bodies believe we are preparing for a rainy day, a day of famine, and therefore you would have stored it. Yeah? And that's why we have the prevalence of obesity, and indeed increasingly morbid obesity in the community, where an individual is significantly overweight. Significantly overweight. It is a challenge. I get it, I get it, I get it. But if you're able to control these ingredients in your cuisine, in your regular nutritional intake, you'll feel better. Control, I say again, the carbohydrates, yeah? Control the sugar, control the salt, yeah? Control the fat, control the starch, okay? And you adopt a policy every day that what you're going to do is the following. You're going to focus, your first minute of the day is fruits, yeah? You are, as part of your health regime, going to focus on vegetables, particularly green vegetables, but a broad range of vegetables, okay? Not vegetables laden with carbohydrate and starch, but those broad vegetables, jam-packed full of vitamins and nutrients and trace minerals, yeah, that our bodies need in order to maintain and grow. If you commit yourself to doing so, you can together make the real change in your life. Okay? Fruits and vegetables, particularly the green vegetables. If you commit to drinking the appropriate amount of water each day, between 2 to 3 liters, it might vary depending upon your height and your mass. Yeah? But if in doubt, again, speak to your doctor, speak to your nutritionists, speak to your nutritional pharmacists. They are the trained professionals. I am providing but guidance. They provide the appropriate, tailor-made advice for you. A commitment, fruits and vegetables, particularly the green vegetables, consuming appropriate amount of water, because we are more than 70% water. Therefore, it's vital that we consume the appropriate amount of water. Okay? And what will make all this worthwhile, it's absolutely vital. That is, if you exercise in a meaningful way each day. And I get it, if you're not used to exercising, I get it. But you've got to do some exercise, okay? Far too many members of our community do not exercise at all and live this incredibly harmful sedentary lifestyle. I mean sedentary, where you just sit down most of the time and your heart never is given the opportunity to race, to exercise itself, yeah? Your heart demands exercise. Your body demands exercise. Your mind demands exercise. Why not give it some exercise, huh? But if in doubt, speak to your doctor, speak to your nutritionist, nutritional pharmacist, or indeed, for exercise, go to a gym and speak to a trainer. Yeah? It is vital for all of our sake, not just you, because you are a member of a family. You have loved ones, most probably. I'm sure you have someone you love, or you love even, okay? Even you love. Mm-hmm. Or those who respect you. You become the example, the exemplar, yeah, that they look up too. Okay. So why not give them good examples of how to live a long, healthy, happy life? Yeah. It is vital that these messages receive you well and you not set up mental blocks. As I know many people continue to set up those mental blocks. And if you have some of these conditions I've mentioned, okay, to rely solely on the pharmaceuticals in order to get you through the day, my guest shortly will demonstrate how you can survive diabetes just by your deliberate actions. Okay? And lastly, what I should really say is that the exercise is vitally important, but you must also take care of your mental and spiritual health. Okay? I say regard your spiritual health. Whoever are your spiritual advisors, speak to that person's every day about what you're going through internally. Okay? So they can provide the support and guidance to help you through each day. You are not alone. As regards, of course, our mental health, I've found meditation to be a powerful tool to enable one to maintain focus and directness, where you are able to push away all the cares and troubles in the world and focus and provide that space for yourselves so you can focus, close your eyes and meditate, clear your minds and focus. And in doing so, you are taking control of who you really are and who you aspire to be. You're empowering yourself to achieve that which you seek for yourself and for others. I recommend regular meditation sessions every day. And you're not sure, speak to a professional how to meditate properly. Okay, I urge you to consider meditation as a tool to strengthen your mental, indeed spiritual resolve. Okay. I hope these lifestyle messages receive you well, and I hope you will pass on these messages to your family, your friends, your networks, your associates. These messages I do not gain financially, but I'm amply rewarded by those of you who heard the messages and respond appropriately for your sake, indeed, for all our sakes. Yes, 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 yes. Affirmation. Okay. And thank you, Herman. I see your message on the chat. Again, if you want to chat to us via that facility, go to YouTube or Facebook. You can communicate with us via the chat facility. Okay. Now then, so what I'm going to do now that the lifestyle messages are clear and you hope they receive well, I now just want to give a further affirmation. I want to give an affirmation to the children who've now gone back to school. I've got to mention children at least once or twice during these sessions, okay? The children are our futures, of course, okay? It is so vital that we give them good lessons at home, okay? It is so vital that those lessons include these lifestyle messages I've communicated to you. It's vital that we teach them our history, our culture, our traditions, not leave it to the as someone says, the television, okay? It's vital that the information our children receive is information we've sanctioned, okay? And reflect an aspect of who we are as a family, as a community, okay? It is vital, therefore, that you take control. Because this is the Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action and where success is ours for the taking. Yes, absolutely, for the taking. Be assured. Now then, what I'm going to do I'm now going to give a further affirmation. There was a reason for uh, these shows when it began during the pandemic. Okay, it was really an opportunity for me to communicate to the wider community and to get through that experience together, not with feeling down, but with feeling empowered, strong, and thrusting forward. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Because it was a challenging time. Okay, I continue doing the shows, but it does appear each time I try, they are required. Yeah, they are required by all accounts. Okay. Constant repetition of the messages it's simply the mainstay of the way we learn as human beings. We learn from each other, okay? And therefore it's incumbent upon me to continue with the themes. But the purpose of today's show will focus on our health and quite specifically, the condition known as diabetes. I mention this condition every strong. Each of my shows is mentioned. Why? Because diabetes is, in most of our communities, in various countries in the world that this show is being received, it's already at epidemic levels. Yeah? Where it is a condition, a disease, that is found in the majority, if not a significant minority of families. Every other family in our communities, there is someone with diabetes, someone with high blood pressure, someone with a cancer, yeah, someone who is overweight and being weighed down by their weight. It is so profound that I know once the show finishes, you go out on the street, go out into your towns, your villages, your cities, and you just look around. Within 5 seconds, you will spot someone who is not well. Yeah, could be that they're overweight. Yeah, that's usually the typical example that we will see. Okay, you will not be able to tell if they've got diabetes, though. Okay. But by all accounts, here in Britain, the British National Health Service spends more than, get this, £10 billion sterling. I'll leave it to the local conversion on treating particularly type 2 diabetes. That's the diabetes that's acquired as a result of our lifestyle. How profound is that? £10 billion, okay? As you're aware, I'm an elected official, okay? And I encounter people who are regularly taking insulin in order to control their diabetes. Their bodies are no longer able to process the sugars on their own. Their bodies are not able to process sugars. It is a profound condition, and in most cases, for the lifetime. Okay, I wouldn't wish that condition onto anyone. Hypertension or high blood pressure is another example of it. Usually a symptom of, again, being overweight, unfit. Usually, not always. Okay. If you are a nurse or a doctor, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to turn on the telephone system, and I don't mind you calling in to provide your experience, anecdotal or not. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm always willing to hear your testimony. And if you wish to directly communicate to the studio, you can. If you are listening and viewing this show via YouTube or Facebook, we're live, therefore we can receive your messages throughout this show. Okay. But if you have diabetes, we'd love to hear from you today because we're going to have an inspired person, the inspired diabetic today. Okay. The impact of this particular condition in our community is profound. £10 billion is spent here in Britain. In the United States, get this, they spend over $325 billion. Yeah? $325 billion. Oh my God, huh? I say it again, more than $325 billion in treatment of type 2 diabetes. And the figure is most probably higher than that. Most probably higher than that. I paused because I wanted to sink in. And in the United States, obesity levels among African Americans, or if you like, black people, if you like, okay, up to 80%, particularly of the women in America, African American women, black women, are overweight, obese. And of that figure, 80% of those who are overweight are morbidly obese. In other words, they're dangerously overweight for their height. Majority of them are heavier than me for my height. I'm 6'1", 165 pounds, but I'm a man. But if you're 165 pounds and you're a woman and you're 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", I suspect that your BMI is, I don't know what the exact figure is, but I can find out in a moment, is excessive. It should be for you at worrying levels. I'm not here to frighten you because we are family. We've got to support each other. We mustn't criticize or shame. We've got to support each other in this venture because this is a public health emergency. It may not be called out as public health emergency in the BBC or the other news media in your various countries, but it is a public health emergency, okay? Or an epidemic, if you like. I'm told by the expert an epidemic might be defined where you have more than 15 cases per 100,000, yeah? That's an epidemic. Oh yeah. Profound, isn't it? And if in every other family there's a member of that family with diabetes or hypertension or the cancer, heart conditions, yeah, respiratory condition, you know we have epidemic levels of health concerns in our community, which is why I communicate those lifestyle messages every strong. It is an emergency. And I get it, those of you who are finding it difficult to change your habit, acquired as children. I get it. I've explained to you my trials and tribulations in that regard. But I'm now clear. My health is my true wealth. I say again, I'm clear. My health is my true wealth. Yeah, I'm clear. And the same applies to you. We have to respond to what is an emergency. We don't need other people to tell us. Just look at the stats and it's plain as day. It is an emergency. The impact on our lives are profound. Even if don't suffer from one of those conditions, the fact you are either loved ones or good friends or associate with someone with those conditions, it does have a psychological impact upon you, us as well. Mm-hmm. I get it. But I understand the trials and tribulations for those of you who consume these ingredients to the excess, to change your lifestyle, which is effectively what I'm asking. Change of habit, yeah? It's tough. I get it. Okay. I'm just going to send a message. I get it in the chat. That way, I get it. I get it. Don't worry. There are exclamation mark afterwards. There you are. Put that in the chat. You can communicate with the studio via the chat facility. Okay, I get it. But working together, we're capable of enormous feats. We are capable of enormous feats if we work together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring into the studio the inspired diabetic. Let's see if we can get the technology to work first time. And let's hear his wise words. Let's see if this works. Bring him in. Let's bring him in. If this works. Ah, it worked first time. Inspired diabetic. Lyndon, can you hear us all right? Can you hear us?
Grand rising to you. Grand rising to you.
Okay. Your sound is very low. Why is your sound very low?
Low?
Okay. Oh, that's better. I'm getting you now. That's fine. Yeah.
You got it? You got
Yep.
me?
That's fine. That's
Excellent.
fine. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. So excited to be here this morning, you know?
It's a pleasure. It's a privilege to have you here. I have to say, yeah. I tend to infer your wise words every strong since the last time you were here, because your contribution to that wide health debate was profound. Absolutely profound. Okay, and I'll give you some testimony as I go through the interview with you today from those listeners and viewers who responded to your wise word. But it's so good. You're looking very young. In fact, you look younger now than you did last time. What are you doing?
I'm detoxing, you know, detoxing.
We must talk about detoxing at some point during the interview. But let me go straight into the interview. See, I know you very well, okay?
Yeah.
And those of you who were here last time when the Inspired Diabetic came on, okay, will also be familiar with him, the book, and his mission, okay? Okay. But before I begin, can you tell us something about yourself that was either a person or an event that was life-affirming and contributed to the person you are today? A person or an event that impacted you so sufficiently, it continues till today. Share with us.
I think that is the day when I actually broke down. You know, that's the most significant day that literally changed my life. To be honest with you, it's really interesting because I was working in the kitchen because I'm a chef, and I was working on the calculator, and calculator was looking at 2 and 2 is 5, 5 and 5 is 6, 7 and 7 is 8. It just wasn't, my mind just wasn't there, you know. And what happened? I was, picture this: your mind's in a cloud, yeah. No, you can't hear anything outside you, but this guy was making this, and I was chef, and he was making these jokes. I can hear the noise, and I can hear people laughing in the distance as well. But I just don't know. So what he done? He called out my name because he see I wasn't reacting, and he said, and I just looked round at him, and I just looked him in the eyes. Ran out the kitchen into the changing room, and I just fell on the floor crying, you know, because I had so many things going wrong with my body, mind, my spirit for the last year, and I've never dealt with it. Tried to get help or tried to go see a doctor or anything like that, and it just came down when my body, my mind just emotionally broke down. Chef came into the change room and said, "Linda, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "Listen, I got blood in my stool, pains in my stomach, my mind's up." And he said, "Linda, you do one or two things today. If you're not feeling good, you number one, you go home, you know." And that was it for me. And I said to myself, "Okay, ain't wrong with me. I got to take charge of this." So I said to him, I'll go to. So that day, I don't know if I was blessed or it was this doctor. And when I rang the doctor, somebody actually picked up the phone. A receptionist picked up the phone, and they said, "How can we help you?" I said, and then you know what they said to me? "Come in this afternoon, 5." I said, "What?" You know, because I thought to myself, "Wow, through to somebody." And number two, they booked me the same day, and that's really unusual. So I wait to the doctor's driving there now. All the things that's being mine, just being reiterated, and I couldn't say, doctor. I'm thinking, what am I going to tell them? What am I going to say? What am I? So when I was really nervous when I got to the doctor. So when I got in there, I was sitting in reception. The door, one level was out. Should I stay or should I go? Because you don't really want this, you know, but you need to find out what the positives are going to be to take action. So when I went in to the doctor, I spoke to the doctor about my body situation and what happened. My doctor done a test on my stomach, my side. I can't feel nothing. So what we're going to do, we send you to hospital, you know, and then I stool as well. They said, we're going to send you to hospital for that as well. And I think before I left, my doctor said to me, let's do a pinprick check on your finger. Pinprick. Right. Yes. And she did that. And when he done it was 15.9. And the doctor said to me, that blood glucose is very high. 15.9. It's supposed to be about 5.
What should the figure have been, Lyndon?
5. It should be about 5.
Okay, and you were 15.
I was 15.9, yeah. Okay. But at that time, it didn't mean nothing to me. Because the doctor said to me, we'd have to send you for a HbA1c blood test. So you probably the HbA1c blood test is when they test the level of 3 months. They do. Yeah, and if you're 42 and below, diabetic, 42 and above at that time for me, that means you're diabetic. Thoughts through was 92.
Okay, wow.
Mine was 92. So I was in the danger zone. It was very hard. It didn't mean anything to me until I looked at my doctor. Looking in her eye, was like, wow, that's. Then I knew this was wrong. I knew. I got feeling this something wrong. But my conclusion, what is wrong?
Right. Okay. Can I ask you before you continue, because you're now relating that discovery experience. Okay. Up until this point, how were you? What was your lifestyle? Let's give from the audience some idea of your lifestyle. Yeah. Because first of all, are you from Africa or from the Caribbean?
Caribbean. My parents from Jamaica.
You're from Jamaica. Okay. So I'm familiar with Jamaican cuisine. Okay. So just tell me about. Just tell us. Share with the audience something of your lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay. So a typical was I used to prepare my breakfast in the morning to go work. I used to have about an hour's drive. So I don't live in London. I live outside London. So I'd have 3 slices of hard bread, butter on it, and lots of jam. Yeah.
Now, say that again, if I may. Hold on there, Linda, because it's as I said, I'm familiar with Jamaican cuisine. So the hardo bread, which I'm very familiar with, jam-packed full of carbohydrates. What else did you have?
Butter on it as well.
Butter, yes. Another form of cow's fat. In other words, hardo bread, jam-packed full of carbohydrates, and then you put cow's fat on top. They call it butter. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What else?
Jam as well.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. What the problem is, I recall doing the same as a child. You see, hardo bread with butter, and put on jam, and jam is just full of sugar. Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh!
With jam, sometimes if I didn't think I had enough on it, I'll put more on. I take a bite. If I can't taste it, I'll put more on. You know.
There you are.
It's really interesting.
Can I
So
forgive me, Lyndon? Your sound is going in and out slightly. Are you able to turn up the volume on your mic? Your sound is just a little thin for some reason. It was perfect last
okay.
night.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm in exactly
Oh, that's
the
better.
same place.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'd also have a latte coffee sachet one. The sachet one's got powdered milk in, and it's got sugar in already. What I do,
There you go.
I make the latte coffee. I add of demerara sugar. Demerara sugar is brown sugar.
Can you hear that, people? This is a not that's a typical Jamaican breakfast. Yeah,
Yeah.
high energy breakfast. As if we're going out in the field and we're going to work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. So you needed all that energy. Can you imagine? Oh my God. But I recall doing exactly the same as a child, the harder bread with big amount of butter on it. Then I put a big amount of jam on it as well. I love the sugar. Then I'll make myself a cup of tea. And in my case, I'm not sure my father's watching. My father's was, my father, again, Jamaican, he had the sweet milk, and those of you who know the concentrated sweet milk. You could buy in the
Yeah.
tins. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I would add that to my tea,
Delicious.
and then add 2 or 3 spoons of sugar to it as well. Crazy,
Yeah.
absolutely mad. Go on, I interrupted you. Go on, please. Just
No
tell them,
problem.
because these are such an important aspect of our lifestyle that's
Yeah.
that we need to think through and consider how to change. But please, go ahead, Lyndon. Go ahead.
Definitely. When it became summertime, I would get an itchy nose, throat itching, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And I was in denial. I told my friend about it. He said, "Listen, you got hay fever." I said, "What do you mean I got hay fever?" So when I looked up the symptoms for hay fever, yeah, I had all the symptoms, or to get rid of hay fever, it's to buy local honey in the area that you live in. I buy honey in my local area, but I live in the country. Yeah, and in the country, we've got a farm. A small jar comes with a big price.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think to myself, I'm spending money on a small jar of honey. So what I decided to do is get the big jar of honey with a small price. So,
Again, you see, I cited an example just before you came on of someone I know very well who's trying to control the amount of sugar that he consumes. Yeah. So he supplemented adding the white sugar in this case by using honey. I said, "Well, you don't need it." He said, "Oh, yes, I do." I said, "Well, you don't actually need always excess sugar." But of course, he's developed that habit, the sweet tooth, as we call it, the addiction to sugar. Continue, Lyndon. Continue. Yeah.
So I started to add honey to my coffee as well now.
Oh God! Oh my dear! Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it wasn't just coffee. It was to my porridge. It was anything I know I could add honey to. I started to add honey to because I wanted to get rid of the hay fever. Logically, I'm thinking I'm doing something to help my health, but it was detrimental to my health. So that was my breakfast on my way to work. Once I got to work,
wow,
I was section. So when you're on the pastry section, we got cakes that we were cutting. So the cakes that we had to trim the edges to get the correct size of each portion.
Yes.
So you put them in a bowl in front of me. And I'm eating the cake, trimming up to 13, 14 different types of cakes as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'll have a someone that says, "Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a coffee?" So I'm going to have another tea. I'm going to have another coffee as well. So I'm having the cakes, coffee, and that's in the morning. At lunchtime, they're gonna give you something like the rice, potatoes, a meat dish, and some fizzy drinks. Yeah. Okay. After lunch in the afternoon, late afternoon, you have your tea break. Yeah, you can have either your biscuits with with your same tea or coffee with the same amount of sugar and honey. Yeah. Also, I'm going home now because my drive going home sometimes I hit traffic. It's going. I go to the local shop and I get a free meal deal package. You know, so it'd be like a BLT sandwich, it'd be a crisp or a chocolate bar. It'd be one of them. You know, so this is what I'll be home in my car as well. But there was days when I can hear this noise in my car, like, ka-ching, ching, ka-ching, ching. I thought, what's that noise? What's that noise? So when I go to the boot of my car, I've got J2Os in there.
Oh
J2Os.
no, there's sweet drinks. Oh no.
Because I had an addiction to J2Os. Because what happened, I used to go to the clubs, but I didn't drink alcohol. So I needed a soft drink to drink, and I got addicted to them. So because I'm a chef, I could go to cash and buy in bulk. So one day when I went to cash and carry, on the big wall, 2O's case, yeah, £5.50, yeah, for like, yeah, okay. And when I go to the pubs, I'm paying £2.50 for one bottle. Buy a case, case, yeah. Wow. So I used to buy in bulk. But once because I had so many, I had to buy a bottle opener. The car boot, I'll take one out and I'll open it there and then, and I'll just drink one.
Oh my gosh!
And then I'll take another one and put in the car with me.
Oh
my
no!
Journey, other stuff.
Oh no!
Yeah. So that's my journey home. Once if there's food there, my wife might have cooked for me. Yeah, okay. So if cooks, it's gonna be a nice potato. Yeah, my fizzy drink, ginger beer, my mango juice. Yeah.
Yes.
So I can't come home after eating all day and say to my wife, "Listen, I'm full." She goes, "Was this something wrong with my food?" You know. So you have to eat again. So you gotta eat again. So I don't know if it's what it's like for you in times. After you've eaten, the first thing we want to do is sit back, relax, and watch the TV. You know, we're falling asleep, and then about an hour later, the wife go to bed. So I said to myself, before I go to bed, let me have a cup of tea before I go to bed. Cup of tea.
Yeah.
And then what we do, we look into the cupboards. And what is a biscuit? Yeah.
Oh, biscuits. Oh dear.
My digestive biscuits. Yeah.
Oh.
So you take 2 or 3 of them out. You sit down, watching TV. You're eating your more biscuits. But next thing you know, you finish the package.
Yes.
You're addictive. You just can't stop. You know. And this is I'm explaining to people that I didn't know what I was doing throughout the day. The amount of consumption and the amount of consumption of sugar that I was eating on a day-to-day basis. Because it's like part of our lifestyle. And the thing about it, Councillor Martin, so many
The motivator.
Sorry, motivator, Mr. Motivator. The thing about it, I've met so many people on my journey that's doing exactly the same as me.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly the same as me. And that's when I realized, wow. So anytime I'm talking to people, what you are consuming on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Because when I got emotional.
Yes.
I got emotional. I thought to myself, is that what I'm having day-to-day?
Yes.
And that's one of my life.
Yes,
you know,
right.
Reflecting. So this is like you're asking, what day did it really hit you? And that is what you're eating, and you know it's all wrong. You know it's all wrong.
Can I ask you at this point, if I may, because that was a very clear outline of a typical lifestyle. I was exactly the same, you know.
Yeah.
So I recall the hardo bread, putting butter on, thick butter, putting the jam on, No, I didn't. I said my father may not be listening, but I see my brother's listening. He just sent me some notes. I would put on the sweet milk. I won't call the brand name, but you will know.
I know the one.
On top,
It's
I
beautiful,
have
nice
no
and
idea why.
thick.
Ah, yes, it's thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have no idea. Uh, um, it is, of course, very sad. It is very sad,
Yeah.
and you and I laugh about it now. We laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is extremely sad. And of course, Jamaica, of course, one of the big plantation islands in the Caribbean, particularly
Yes.
with sugarcane. So sugar became an integral part of our cuisine. The overconsumption of sugar was expected. Okay. So you mentioned sugar. I did want to just, if I may, then ask about your your physical condition. I know what was read at the point at which you discovered you have diabetes.
Yeah.
But were you? I'm not sure how. I can't remember how tall you are and what your weight is, for example. Is there a relationship between diabetes and your size, your body mass, if you like?
Definitely. I was overweight. I'm not 5'8". You know, I had a big belly, and the only reason why I knew I had a big belly when I went to see my mom, and my mother looked at me and said, "Lyndon." I said, "Yes, mom." She said, "Lyndon, your belly I get big." You know,
Yes.
Lyndon,
Yes.
your
So, Lyndon,
belly
your
get big.
sound is going again for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
Your it's your mic. When you're a bit maybe closer to it, that might help us. Yeah.
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 I'm not
Yep.
sure why. It's coming and
Yeah.
going. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, so um, my mom said my belly I get your belly I get why.
Mm.
And I went home and I looked at myself and I thought to myself, I didn't realize I was so big, you know, because she's also said pigs don't know when pigs are in environments with certain people, you know, your eyes is the state of your body, you know.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of symptoms of diabetes as well, but
Mhm.
I didn't know what it was related to. So yeah, it was not very
Can I just
good.
ask you again, Lyndon, at that point, again, prior to you, as you were before it
Yeah,
becoming really severe, what were those symptoms that you've been experiencing for years but didn't know it was actually diabetes?
the, my main symptoms that I was experiencing, which was in my fingers and my toes, numbness, pins and
Oh,
needles. It was
wow.
numb.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand why I had it. I related to it. You know, when I was skiing, my feet was so hurting. I had to take my boots off. You know, I
Okay.
stopped skiing and take it off. But I didn't really know. Also, I was running to the toilet on a regular basis, up to
Hmm.
3-4 times. When you when you run into the toilet, yeah, and you get all that happen as well. I was thirsty as well, so
Okay.
I
Yes.
I was water. I was drinking fizzy stuff to quench that thirst, but I didn't know that the fizzy drinks and the urinating was related.
That's right.
You know,
Yes.
and the motivator sometimes I didn't even make it to didn't get there. So after a period of time, I had to be carrying two pairs of bag, you know, to change because it was a serious thing at the time, you know. Also,
Mm.
I had a bit of a blurred vision as well.
Oh my gosh.
Then,
Right. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I had blurred vision, but I didn't know if diabetes or my health because when I went for my retinopathy test, they were perfect. My veins are perfect. So maybe it was something that
Wow.
was just coming and going period that I was going through, you
Hmm.
know, and also feeling hungry all the time, being constantly hungry. Just think you have a meal, a plate afterwards, you want to eat something else again.
Okay.
It,
Yes. Yes. A sure
it,
sign.
it doesn't make sense. You think you just had a wonderful meal and then you want something else. Okay, have it. And then after you want to eat something else. It's like continuously eating. You never rest. And one of the most concerning things about me after I was diagnosed, symptoms were, one of them is slow healing of cuts. So as a chef, if I cut myself, I could bleed and it won't heal, which is detrimental to my health, because if I'm in the kitchen, number one, you'd have to put a blue, chefs nowadays don't like to wear blue plaster to show that they've cut themselves. That's kind of embarrassing. Because the blood, your bloods are gonna stop running. So that really slowed me down. Before that, I was cutting cucumbers like chop, 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 chop. When I found out that chop, 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 I was taking my time on every. So those are just some of the
consequences. Yeah.
There's another one they call itchy genitals or thrush. Yeah, it's something else that we get through. That was, it's no joke, you know, because sometimes we have certain things we may think is, how can I put it, sexually related, but it may not be sexually related. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't know what the problem is. So we try different things to get, is it the right thing to do? So that's another thing I touch on a lot more, and I do talks as well. I do. So those are just some of the symptoms of the diet.
And did you at any point during this time, were you doing regular exercising? Did you go to the gym or anything like that, maybe?
On and off sometimes. I was, but enough to go to the gym when I was diagnosed. You know, I have little hints of, I want to do something, then afterwards you don't do it, you know.
Yeah, I understand you.
A bit of tennis stuff.
Lyndon, well, what I'm going to do something quite drastic for the moment. It does appear that your sound is out of sync. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to log off and come back right in again. Hopefully that refresh might make the difference, just so that we can get the good quality sound for you. Okay, if you log off and then come back in again. Okay. Let's see if it works.
Fine.
Now, whilst Lyndon is doing that, let me just relate to you some of the interesting stats. Let me just take myself out of this one now, that some of you may find quite interesting. Okay, there you go. Across the Caribbean, the prevalence of diabetes is quite profound. Okay, now amongst the population, we've got the Antigua and Barbuda, where 13.8% of the population have type 2 diabetes. Barbados is 12.7%. Dominica, 12.2%. Grenada, 11.9%. Jamaica, 11.9%. And St. Kitts and Nevis, 23%. I'd love to speak to someone from St. Kitts and Nevis and understand why it's standing at 23% of the population, nearly a quarter of the population there, have type 2 diabetes. St. Lucia, 11.1%. There you are. Another one, St. Vincent Grenadines, 11.6%. Trinidad and Tobago, 10.9%. In United States, African Americans, black people in the United States, 16.3% of the population have type 2 diabetes. By any reckoning, that is an epidemic. Okay. In America, 7.4% of the European or white population have type 2 diabetes. Amongst the Hispanic population, 12.1% have diabetes. These are, well, certainly amongst African Americans, that is an epidemic levels which are truly frightening. And, you know, if those are my cousins in the United States who are viewing this, I hope, you know, we together can respond. Okay. Just to give you some idea, before I bring Lyndon back in, give you some idea of spend. to tackle type 2 diabetes. Here in Britain, the British National Health Service spends more than £10 billion each year treating people with type 2 diabetes. In the United States, $327 billion, oh my gosh, is spent by the Americans on treating type 2 diabetes. In Jamaica, the little island of Jamaica, what, 2.5, 3 million people, they spend in US dollar equivalent of $2.76 billion. Remember, this is a population of what, 3 million people. $2.76 billion to address type 2 diabetes. Now, I'm going to mention Ghana first of all. In Ghana, it's $372 million. Okay, and there's good reason for that, and we speak to Ghana later on. But Nigeria is the odd one, $1 billion. Now, clearly that figure is wrong. Okay, I've been trying to find other figures that relate to Nigeria, specifically in relation to type 2 diabetes. But of course, in Nigeria, there are other truly public health conditions which the Nigerian government is trying to tackle. And therefore, diabetes, whilst it is prevalent, most certainly, there are other big killers in Nigeria. I won't go to those right now. I don't want to divert the conversation. But $1 billion is what I have here. And if you are Nigerian and you are with the government or health services in Nigeria and have got a current figure of what Nigerians spend to treat type 2 diabetes, please, I'd love to receive from you an up-to-date figure. But I've got an approximate figure of $1 billion. I say it's wrong because the Nigerian population, of course, is more than 225 million souls. So clearly that figure is wrong. Okay, that figure is most certainly wrong. But as was in the pandemic, in some cases, if you don't report it, okay, you don't record it. Okay, that's what I suspect is happening there. All right, let me now go back to let's bring in Lyndon. Let's hopefully we can get the sounds better this time.
I'm here, yes.
Oh, much better.
Yeah,
That's much better. There you are. Let me get you up on the screen. That is much better. You're much clearer now. Okay. Wow. Well, the evidence you presented so far
are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. And, you know, when you hear it like that, you're wondering what actually is going on.
Yes.
Around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are we actually doing about this? And when you hear organizations talking about it's going to increase, hold on, your own organization, you should be saying we're going to make it decrease.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to deduce. I'm not an expert in these matters, so this is not authoritative. The problem at the moment is the chemicals that's added to our foods.
Yeah.
That I suspect is the culprit. Because, of course, all the experts recommend, and as you will be recommending, and I'll get to that in a second, recommending natural foods. Yeah. Okay. With fewer chemicals, laden with chemicals. Okay. Processed foods, and again, I can go back to the Jamaican experience. You know, when we have our bun and cheese, that cheese is. Yeah. Every Jamaican just laughed. Yeah. Yeah, that cheese is truly processed cheese. It is just simply a chemical cocktail designed to upset the balance of your body's internal chemistry. Yep. And if you don't get ill after that over time, then you're just lucky. You just missed a shot. Okay. Yeah. When I realized it, and I must say I was in my 20s, when I realized the realities of our cuisine that was handed to me, you know, I realized I had to make some profound changes in my lifestyle if I hope to live a long, healthy life. And it was difficult. You know, it's difficult, isn't it, Lyndon, to change your lifestyle? Huh?
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Now you discovered you have diabetes. You're a chef, but now you're forced not to eat he says, our traditional foods, okay? now you've been compelled to eat food from the tropics, but in a different way. Tell
Yeah.
us how to do this. Yeah.
It's one of the most difficult things to do, yeah,
Mhm.
if you're not used to it. I
Yeah.
think what's I'm going to talk about me, my personal experience, yeah, to make it to simplify for the listeners, yeah.
Mhm.
When your back is against the wall,
Yes.
with
Marcus Garvey says, go
yeah,
on.
and you got health issues which you don't know why or how, you've got to take radical change,
Yes.
yeah, to change
Yes.
what you've been doing before. Because from a childhood, we've been having all these sugar, sweets, everything, salt, all these things
Mm-hmm.
around,
Mm.
and we've been addicted to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is normal. But you know something? I'm self-employed. If I don't work, I don't earn. Yeah. With type 2 diabetes, yeah, every 22 seconds, somebody loses a lower limb. Yeah.
Mhm.
Every 6 seconds, somebody dies from diabetes. Yeah.
Yes.
If you
Every
want to,
6 seconds?
yeah, every 6 seconds, yeah,
Oh my
someone
God.
dies from diabetes. If you want to be part of those statistics, yeah, carry on doing what you're doing.
Mm.
If you don't want to, yeah, you need to be radical. Like, when I found out how I became type 2 diabetic through my lifestyle, that day I said to myself, that's it. I'm done with all those other foods. I'm done.
Hold on, hold on. No, I'm going to get this because this is the crucial point of this interview.
Yep.
Okay, it's at the point at which you're able to make the decision. You've got to change your lifestyle.
Right, yeah.
You start with your food. How is it that you were able to make that decision? And thousands, forgive me, hundreds, no, forgive me, there are millions
Million.
who find it
Yeah.
difficult. Why do you think?
Because like I just explained, my body, my mind wasn't right. I knew I wasn't right. I was
Mhm.
overweight. If I carry on this way, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get more ill. I'm gonna get sicker. I won't be able to form. I won't be able to do all the things I want to do with my
Mhm.
children, my grandchildren. So I
Yes,
thought, from that
loved
day,
ones. Yes.
you have to hit the wall and say to myself, enough is enough.
Again, if I may, because this is the crucial point,
Yeah,
because there are thousands, tens of thousands who view both the live and then the recordings of this show. Okay, it's at this point when they're realizing they're overweight. They realize that their
yeah,
blood sugars are off the scale. They realize they're consuming excessive amount of salt. They realize that they're overconsumption of fat, either in the form of cow's fat or indeed from other sources. They realize this. Okay,
yeah.
but how is it that you have that mental strength to make the decision and follow through? What's different about you? Are you special? Are you
I
special?
I've been asked this question before,
Yeah.
and the only time I can really relate to that, when I was younger, I took jobs illegally, yeah, to make money,
Uh huh.
yeah, in ethical businesses, but I was too young to be doing it, but I
I
was able to
understand.
do that. So my
Yes.
mental strength was there to go out and do something, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the next time is when I started to work at the Savoy Hotel, you
Okay.
know. And when you work at the Savoy Hotel, back then we were filling the ovens with coal, natural
Mhm.
coal, and
All
it
right.
it was hot, yeah.
Mhm.
And my first day going to the kitchen, they were speaking French. Everything over the tannoy came in French. I didn't understand one single word,
Yes.
yeah, of what they were talking about,
Yes.
But after a period of time, you get to learn the words, understand it, and it became second nature.
Hmm.
And because the work for 18 months of being this work was so hard but rewarding, and I enjoyed it. It was tough. You're changing your uniforms at least twice a day. You
Hmm.
got coal in your nose, coal in your ears,
Yes.
everywhere like that. You're under pressure. Every
Yes.
day is
Yes.
under pressure.
Yes.
Working in places like that. You
Yes.
know, and I think that gave me the fortitude is to be stronger as a person to make decisions. You
Hmm.
know, because when I think the executive chef at the time, Anton Edelman, he saw something in me,
Hmm.
yeah, that he propelled me to levels quicker than other people. And I
Hmm.
was I was still a trainee.
Yes.
So I was doing I was a trainee, but I was doing like I was running a section.
Right. Okay.
I'm not supposed to be running a section. So
Okay.
he's obviously seen something. So when I look back, I think to myself, there's something within me which somebody sees, but sometimes we don't see within ourselves,
Indeed.
you
Indeed.
know, that propels us to do something great.
If I may, at this point, because it's, as I said, this is the crucial point.
Yeah,
You are aware that your lifestyle, through what you eat, lack of exercise, lack of focus, is
yeah,
having detrimental impact on our lives.
yeah,
But yet there are hundreds of thousands, millions of people who may view this recording and do nothing about it, or feel powerless to do anything about their condition. What advice would you give to them?
the advice I would give to them, you're not alone.
Uh-huh. Yes.
You're not alone. Trust me. You know, you're not by yourself when you're doing
Mhm.
this journey. For me, I've written the book Inspired Diabetic, and for me to be on this program with the motivator today
Mhm.
is proof that you can do it. You
Mhm.
know, it's proof that you must try. You have to start somewhere. So
Yes.
if I am the blueprint, yeah, to help you get started, let's use this video, let's use this program,
Mhm.
yeah, with the motivator and say, okay, where do I start?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first thing you start with is cutting down on your carbohydrates.
There you go.
Yeah, your pasta, your rice, your fizzy drinks, all these things we start to cut down on. You don't have to do it like I did drastically. You can do it bit by bit,
Mhm.
day by day,
Mhm.
cutting down gradually.
Mhm.
And also, if you are going to be doing this, consult with your doctor, your
Yes.
physician,
Yes.
your personal trainer, whoever
Yes.
you're doing anything with
Yes.
nutritionally, consult with them.
Yes.
Yeah, so that you make sure you're doing the right thing. Because I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a medical person, but what I'm doing is sharing my personal journey of what I done and how I done it.
What's important about you, which is why I didn't invite a health practitioner who can provide all the scientific intricacies of what it is to be a diabetic. I
Yeah,
wanted you, because you speak so frankly and honestly about the subject, because you are intimately affected by it, okay? So
yes,
the term inspired diabetic, okay, you see, it doesn't simply apply to you, of course, it applies to all of us
yeah,
who are either borderline or suffering with diabetes. Okay,
yes,
you
definitely,
are and can become inspired because you inspire others to change their lifestyle. Okay,
definitely.
can I therefore this now focus in, because you've seen some of the pre-videos for this show, and behind each of the images I have, you'll see I've got fruits and vegetables.
Yes,
And of course, your one of your claim to fame is that you actually a chef. You know, you're the people. You're the ones who prepare our food. So you understand food,
yes.
ordinary food. You understand Caribbean food, African food. You understand the foods we eat. Okay. Now then, tell us about the foods and what food we should major on first thing in the morning, mid morning, lunchtime, brunch, evening time. Just give us an idea of the food we should consume, what quantity, and how much water, and of course, exercise that goes alongside that. Just give us some idea.
Okay. The one when people ask me what do I need to do first, because you're diabetic, the first thing you need to do is cleanse the body.
Aha,
You
detox.
know,
You mean right?
you need to clean the body first.
Aha.
Need to detox the body. This is adamant, because if you don't do that, yeah, everything's going to start to build, still be in your system.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So one of the things, because we eat meats, fish, and a lot, we have parasites in our body. Yeah. So the parasites are eating on what's inside our body already. So one
Aha.
of the ways to get rid of parasites is through watermelon, papaya, and pumpkin seed. Make that all as a juice and drink that. Yeah.
Say again, say it nice and slowly.
Yeah.
Watermelon,
Watermelon
papaya, and pumpkins.
and pumpkin seed. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you
Okay.
blend all of that together, the
Uh-huh.
flesh and the seeds. Yeah. Okay. Well, not the flesh of the papaya, but you could use the flesh for the watermelon. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But with that, you juice it all together. Yeah. and then you drink the juice, and that will
Okay.
help get the parasites out of the body. If you're doing this at home, yeah, stay near the toilet because you may have a cleanse out.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to be careful. It may just cleanse out, but don't forget you've got all this stuff in your system already. It may want to come out straight
Okay.
away. Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's one of the things. The
So,
second
if I may, just so clear, so before you begin the process, we need to detox. How long for? How long for would you
I
suggest?
would say, to be honest with you, I don't know because everybody's got so much different mass of their body.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I would just do like one day just to try a small amount. Yeah. Like a glass full, a small glass full,
All
bit
right.
by bit.
Okay.
You know?
And how would you know that the detox has worked? What would be the sort of counterized success for a detox process?
You will feel you'll be going to the toilet, your bowels will be loosening.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And then you will start to lose weight as well.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
definitely start to lose weight.
Uh-huh.
These are the two things that you notice as well. The second thing is intermittently fasting. Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
intermittently fasting, abstaining from foods. Like if you wake up in the morning, you may not want to have a breakfast. Don't have a breakfast. Just drink water or have a liquid for about 4 to 5 hours.
Yes.
So just abstain from eating. If you want to do it longer, you can do it longer.
So
Yeah.
when you say intermittent fasting, you mean for what? 12 hours, 18 hours? What?
Yeah, 5, 6 hours. Just I
Oh,
would advise.
that's not very
I would
long.
advise just
Okay.
try for 5, 6 hours because don't forget when we wake up, we're naturally hungry.
Yeah.
So the first thing we think we have to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and if your body's used to eating in the morning, you're gonna think, oh, I don't feel right because I haven't eaten my cornflakes, I haven't eaten my cereals, you know. But some people don't need it.
Yes.
But we think we do need it because this is what I done to myself. When I was fasting, I felt hungry. So what I done, I drank water.
Yes.
And
Yes.
surprisingly, I felt, oh, I'm okay. I feel full. And I thought to myself, wow. So I'm going to continue this. So I was personally intermittently fasting 4 or 5 times a week, abstaining from food to 5, 6 hours a day. And it was easy for me because I would take my daughter to school in the morning for 8:30, and then I'll go straight to the gym, exercise, for about 4 hours, and then come back to the car and have a punnet of blueberries and a banana.
Can I just ask you before you continue? Just there are others. There are many listening to us, and
Yeah.
some we'd always recommend, of course, that you only do this under some supervision. Huh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Go ahead. And I know for myself, I had my meal 7 o'clock last night. I've not eaten since. I've only had warm water, and I won't eat until lunchtime, around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's when I will eat. So I do this most days, I must say,
Yeah.
and I only eat within a 5 or 6 hour period. And after that, I go back to my fasting. So that's how I manage my overall health and well-being. That works for me personally. For others, it may be different. But if you've not done this before, always gradually introduce intermittent fasting. I suspect it's the right advice.
Yeah, I think after a period of time, you would start to understand your body, and
Yes.
you would understand when you can, when you can't, and what not to do and what to do. It's really exciting when you start to do these things because it's a new challenge in your life.
Yes.
You know, it's a new challenge, and see it as a positive, not a negative.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
because you're going to find yourself, you're going to feel healthier, you're going to have a lot more energy as well. And you think, because I've been eating all the time, I haven't got the energy. But when you abstain from eating, you funny enough, your body finds energy, surprisingly.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
You know? It's amazing. So another thing, there's 2 things I want to touch on. The first one is when you are eating foods, sometimes you will still want to have your cakes and your biscuits and rice. Listen, when you do it, don't beat yourself up about it. Just have it. Yeah. Because if you start to mess about with your mind and your stomach, they're not in sync. You need them to be on the same level.
Agreed.
You need it to be together. Your mind and body.
Yes.
In sync.
Yes.
So once they're in sync, you can have your naughty cake, you can have your bowl of rice and say, listen, I've done X amount of work for the last week. I'm going to reward myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
you're in sync. So
Yes.
the next thing you're going to do, if you are in a position where you're going to still have your cakes and whatever, yeah. One thing that I recommend, I'm not going to recommend what I used to do, and I still do, is like have blood glucose reducing foods. Yeah. Blood
Example,
glucose
please. What was? Yeah.
reducing food, like okra water. Yeah.
Oh, yes, you mentioned this last time. Yes,
Yeah.
I do this as well. Yes, please
Right.
go explain. Yes.
So okra, you know what okra is, yeah, okra, and you get okra, you get a glass bottle like that, like a 500 ml bottle, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, and you just cut the okra and put it in the water, leave it for 24, 48 hours to break down, yeah,
Yes.
and then you drink it because okra naturally reduces the blood sugars, and
Mm-hmm.
the same thing goes with another vegetable called bitter gourd. It's
It's a
bitter
cool.
gourd,
Yeah.
corella, or bitter melon. In the Caribbean, we call it cerasee, yeah,
Yes,
because it's the leaf from the bitter gourd,
that's right. Yes.
cerasee, and that reduces the blood sugars naturally. Excuse me. You also have apple cider vinegar, fenugreek, moringa,
Mm-hmm.
baobab, burdock roots, cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
These are just some of the stuff that helps reduce the blood sugars naturally.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're still eating your biscuits, whatever, you could also have your own drinks instead of having the fizzy drinks,
Indeed.
something to reduce the blood sugars naturally.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you what it's going to replace because just work it out for yourself.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Work it out for yourself what it's going to reduce.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the other thing, which I want to touch on, with type 1 diabetes, yeah, that means your pancreas is not functioning properly. So it's not producing any insulin.
That's right.
Okay. With type 2 diabetes, it's either your blood sugars are too high or your pancreas is not functioning. So you still may need a bit of insulin with type 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So if your pancreas is not working properly, what's the best thing to do for it?
Mm-hmm.
Feed it with foods that's going to neutralize it.
Right.
Food that's
Yes.
going to heal it.
Yes.
Yeah. And these foods are called flavonoids. FLAVONOIDS.
Right.
Flavonoid foods.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flavonoid foods are like berries. Yeah. Tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
fresh herbs, parsley, watermelon,
Mm-hmm.
almond, grapefruit, lettuce, romaine lettuce leaf, peaches, peppers. There's a list of foods, even dark chocolate. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a flavonoid food.
Likewise. Yes.
Like 75, 85%. A little bit of that now and again is great for you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So all these little things heals and nourishes the pancreas.
Absolutely. Right.
So this is what I'm saying. When you're taking stuff out of your diet, what are you going to put into it? And what you're going to put into it is predominantly flavonoids.
Excellent. A question for you then, if I may.
Yeah.
What I'm aware, and I meet people, both friends and constituents, who've got diabetes, they are given insulin and maybe other tablets to manage the conditions.
Yeah.
They don't appear to be taught about the foods and how and what foods to consume. Why do you think that is? The doctors seem to be focused on the pharmaceuticals and not the natural ways in which you can manage your blood sugar levels. What is?
I think that's all they know. That you
Mhm.
only teach or you only show what you've been taught.
Indeed, yeah.
You know, I was blessed in a way that my cousin Ken, who had type 1 diabetes, he done his research
Aha.
on flavonoid foods. So he told me about flavonoid foods. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have gone onto the medication.
Yes.
Yeah, because I didn't know any difference.
Right.
My doctor didn't know any difference.
Yes.
No, or they don't show me any difference. So I was blessed in a way that my cousin Ken said, Lynn, there's foods out there that you need to focus on. And when I was diagnosed and my doctor went to get the metformin medication, I'm thinking to myself, hold on, my cousin said if I take medication, it's detrimental to my health.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking there, do I take medication or do I not take medication?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to my doctor, can I not take medication? And they said, okay, we give you 3 weeks to come back and have another blood test, HbA1c blood test.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I was diagnosed, my my HbA1c was 92.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the 25 days when I came back to my doctor, yeah, it went down to 77.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what should it have been? And what's the normal level? What's the normal?
42.
42.
42.
Right. Okay.
So,
Significant.
so with another 28 days, it went down from 77 down to 60.
Okay.
Yeah. And in a total of 105 days, it went down to 41. So it went
Oh my gosh.
down.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Wow. We've talked about food.
Yeah.
I'm told that in order to manage weight, you should exercise and drink the appropriate amount of water.
Yeah.
Is that a part of your regime?
Yes, part of my regime, definitely. I was drinking up to 2 liters of water a day, and I still do, of liquids anyway. But it doesn't have to be just water. I do my okra water
Yes.
on a regular basis. I do watermelon juice on a regular basis.
Yes.
I do this is a lot of my things I do on a regular, and I detox on a regular basis as well.
Okay.
You know, because I'm not perfect. I still eat bits and pieces of meat. I still have bread and bits and pieces.
Yes.
But I try and find the healthier versions.
Right.
You know, I still have the odd biscuit. So my thing is, I need to cleanse on a regular basis. You know,
I understand. Yes. Yes.
you know. So watermelon juice, my okra water juice, eating berries on a regular basis. You know, and I don't eat like I used to eat. Sometimes my wife said, "Linda, you're not eating." I said, "I don't feel like eating. I don't.
Exactly. Yep.
I don't need to eat."
I understand.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
And one of the issues we have is if you've got a person in your life who always cooks, they're always cooking, they always expect you to eat,
Yes.
which is so frustrating because I'm not hungry all the time like I used to be.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I just not. You know, I've lost so much weight and I've kept it down, and I weigh myself every day, 2-3 times a day sometimes.
Yes.
You know, it's just a psychological thing that I go through now. I went to play tennis last week with my son. I was aching for a week, you know, but I lost nearly half a kilo just exercising with him.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
vitally important. Vitally important.
Definitely.
And this conscious of time, so I want to kind of go towards wrapping up now.
Okay.
So you provided a lot of advice there, okay? And I put up earlier on an example of your book. You might just want to just confirm how accessible, if I can get up on the screen now, how accessible your book is. Where can they purchase your book?
They can get the book from my website, theinspireddiabetic.com, or they can get it from any online bookshops or the high street bookshops. And also you can get it in libraries as well. Okay. You know, we're living in the times now where we're eating unhealthy foods. Yeah, we're putting on weight. Our health is bad, but we can't afford to buy the book to get the information. So go to your local library and rent the book. Get your local library. So if you go to your local library, if they haven't got it requested, it is available. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It is available.
Now, is diabetes, from your perspective, getting better or worse here in Britain?
It's getting worse, I think, in Britain, because every 3 minutes there's a new diabetic person in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, the statistics show that every 3 minutes a new diabetic in the UK, and it's getting worse because people are not conscious about what they're eating on a regular basis. They're so addicted to certain things.
Yes.
They're not taking control of their situation. I met an Asian guy about a couple of years ago, and he was diabetic. And I said, "You'd have to cut down on rice." He goes, "I eat rice every day."
Yes.
I eat rice every day. I said, "Yeah, but do you want to stay diabetic or do you want to reduce your blood sugar level?" You know, so it was hard for him to give it up. So once we start having a mental change within ourselves,
yes,
it is doable. But we have to focus on that personally, and you got to do it within yourself, or have people around you who's looking at you. They say something about you, and start to take action with them.
Yes,
you know. And
you're quite right. You're quite right. And I put on the screen, of course, the experts say diabetes prevention action. You've got to try to maintain a healthy weight for yourself, depending upon your height and your mass. Healthy weight, BMI 25 or below is what's recommended. Eat a healthy diet, of course, primarily fruits and vegetables is there on the screen.
Yeah.
Be physically active is
Yeah.
another feature. This sedentary lifestyle, you sit down for long periods of time, or you stand still in a single position, is a killer. Controlling our blood pressure, okay, is another crucial aspect of this. And of course, excessive consumption of salt is a problem here. And of course, often many of our seasoning have got these emulsifiers, okay, and that also prevents the absorption of and conversion of sugar in your blood. Yeah. And of course, controlling our cholesterol levels is another aspect that we have a challenge with, particularly if you're addicted to the meat, okay, and you eat meat in excess, okay. And lastly, of course, it's important to exercise. Exercise is absolutely critical. Okay, I think that's okay.
Yes.
Now, I've not officially opened the telephone lines, but I can see, Lyndon, I've got someone on the on the line. It's true, I've forgotten about that. I see someone with the number ending 9341. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Can I have your name, please,
Yeah,
caller?
my name is Tom. My name is Thomas. Yeah.
Hello, Thomas. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I was just phoning to find out the title of the book.
Yes, the title of Lyndon's book. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can put it up on my screen now. It's called The Inspired Diabetic.
Okay.
By Lyndon Wizard. And his surname is spelled WISSART. And Lyndon, of course, is LYNDON.
GON. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. The inspired.
The Inspired Diabetic.
The inspired diabetic. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to find the title.
Brilliant. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for the call. Thank you. Pleasure.
Okay. Bye.
Wonderful. Well done, Lyndon. I suspect you've just affected someone's life there.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure. So the book is available in the bookstores.
Yeah.
Did you say it's available on your website at the beginning?
My website as well, yeah.
Can you just give out your website address, please?
theinspireddiabetic.com.
There you go. That's it. So it's www. That's 3 W's dot theinspireddiabetic.com.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's Lyndon's website. That's okay. I'm really pleased to commend that book to you. I have a copy myself. I purchased it not long after I met you, Lyndon, and I tell you, it's jam packed full of sound advice. Oh gosh, I see another person on the line. True, I haven't actually officially opened it, but these are those who take the initiative. I see. The wise brother Kwame. Brother Kwame.
Good morning, the motivator. Good morning to Bob London. Great show. I think you should need to do more of these shows because health is a very key aspect of our endeavor, and also it's a very important aspect within the African Caribbean community. So it's very important that you do more shows of this. I mean, it's a simple question to Lyndon. Would he encourage African people, black people, to have more of a plant-based diet as opposed to the high sugar, high salt?
Yeah, definitely. Because having a plant-based diet, it was hard for me. It was hard for me to give him my meat in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. Then I became like a vegetarian, and I was mainly plant-based. And the thing about it, even like I used to love my beef, but the beef used to block up my system, and I felt bloated. So when I started to cut down on beef, I was looking for an alternative. So when I gave up beef, I found spirulina, which is a protein replacement. So, and there's other protein replacements, goji berries as well, leafy vegetables.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? These things. And to be honest, even as a chef, it was hard for me to go vegetarian, because I still love my meat, but now it's easier for me. Because I've studied it more in detail of more vegetables, more fruit, what to eat. So plant-based, definitely. And you know what I found the other day? You got normal bananas, but you got the Bora bananas, the tiny ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, tiny ones. People get hold of these bananas, burro bananas, because they're more nutritional, yeah, and they taste so much nicer.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way in Ghana. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah, but
All
the
right.
thing about it, we're getting more of it over here in the UK now as well. We are.
Mhm. And Brother Kwame,
All right.
I'm
All right.
as you know, I'm very limited for time now. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
No, of course,
Yeah.
I understand that. Thank you very much.
But I
Amazing.
appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. That's a good call. That was a good call. That's a good call. Okay. I'm just conscious. I've got only a few more minutes. What will be your last piece of advice, Lyndon Wizard, the inspired diabetic, to the audience? Bearing in mind, this is a growing problem in our communities, both in Britain, the Caribbean, and the Americas, most certainly. What would be your
My
advice?
last word to each and everybody out there listening, yeah, okay. Type 2 diabetes isn't a life sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an opportunity because it's what you put into your mouth.
Yes.
It's what you eat. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And let me simplify it for you. The number one thing is your mindset.
Yes.
Yeah, can I do it? What do I need to do? Yeah.
Mhm.
Number two is your diet, food. What do I take out and what do I bring in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number three, yeah, is physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do things in the chair, you know,
Yes.
just to get the blood going. Little trampoline, little exercise, gym, whatever you can do, walking fast, anything to get the exercise
I
going.
have my weights here.
Yeah, I got my grip. I normally have my grippers with me. I got them
Yeah.
inside the room. I have.
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one. I
After
got
a
some.
good run to do the weights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some stuff around. One sec. Where is
Oh
it?
yeah, go on. There we are. Us men got to display our desire to exercise, stretch those muscles, push those
Yeah.
muscles. Yeah.
It's in my,
You can't find it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
And
Yeah.
the
Make us alive. Yeah.
and the fourth one is intermittently fasting.
Yes.
Yeah, intermittently fasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is one of the most important things: is to detox the body, cleanse the body.
Absolutely.
You know? And remember, I simplify that. If there's a tragedy where there's an earthquake, a storm, or something like that, and then you find people 3 or 4 days later under the rubble,
Mm-hmm.
they haven't eaten nothing, but they come out alive.
Yes.
Yeah, that means the body will what's the word? It would take care of itself
Yes.
over a period of time. It will find its way to food or
Yes.
nourish you.
You can survive.
The body is such a powerful thing.
Yes.
And we don't really realize that, you know?
I completely agree with you. Once I've made that decision in my 20s that I wanted to live a long, healthy life, but it would mean that some of the traditional behaviors, which you've mentioned earlier on, with the hard dough bread and the jam and all this, I needed to change that. And I've got to tell you, I still, whenever I see bun and cheese, even the processed cheese, my mouth waters still.
Yes.
But my mind, my focus, I will eat. I only have that maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
No more than twice a year. You're right. You don't need to complete absence. Twice a year, I'll eat some, but no more than that. Okay. And someone in the family just come back from Dominica, and let me tell you, let me show you what they came back with. Hold on. Oh, I can't find. Oh, it's too far away. They came back with a bowl of sweet items.
Oh wow!
It was. I'm looking at it now. A coconut ice, fudge, lots of fudge. In fact, peanut punch. When you taste it, it was just like, oh my god, it's so syrupy. And in fact, it was from Dominica they came from, and of course, you saw the figures early on, the levels of diabetes in diabetes. But I am particularly worried about St. Kitts and Nevis, where nearly a quarter of the population, African population, have type 2 diabetes. Wow. A quarter of the population. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, we need to respond. Your words have been received, our inspired diabetic. Okay, what do you prefer, Lyndon or the inspired diabetic? I call you.
Either way is fine. On a show like this, inspired diabetic is fine. You know, because if you keep the word inspired diabetic, it just puts into people's mind, you know, that I need to call myself something,
Right.
you know, the inspired motivator.
There you go.
The inspired motivator.
You say it with emphasis, you see? Thank you. This has been truly inspirational.
Thank you.
Inspiring indeed, okay? And I can tell by the messages that I've received that many have taken note. I would wish to encourage those of you listening or viewing to share this information. Send a copy of this show to your family and friends. Okay, Lyndon, I'm going to make sure that we continue to promote your website. Continue to promote your book. Okay, I'll keep referring to you in my intro to the show, and long may you continue to enjoy a long, healthy life.
And to you too, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for you got such a wonderful platform.
Thank you.
You know, I'm promoting you all the time as well. So
thank you.
You're doing such an important thing for the community, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. It
is my pleasure, our pleasure, and your work must continue. All right. 100%. Thank you so much. Good day. Give my regards to your family and all those that have the pleasure of knowing you personally. Extend my regards. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, that's something, isn't it? There you go. Wasn't that something? Wasn't that something? A truly inspired African, okay, who didn't simply accept his fate. He responded as all good African peoples, all good human beings, if you like, should. Yeah? That let our food be our medicine. Okay? Our health is indeed our true wealth. Yeah? And of course, here today, the whole purpose of these shows is that we translate these words into action. And remembering, success is ours for the taking. It's very much a mindset. That's what it is, a mindset. You have to be clear as to why you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, taking care to ensure your loved ones, yeah, those who depend upon you, those who you respect, those in your network, your associates, okay, can see you as being the example, the exemplar, if you like. Long may you continue to work, not by yourself as lone rangers, but as a family, as friends network, associate networks, yeah? Working together to live a long, healthy life. And let not diabetes or hypertension or the cancers or heart conditions or the respiratory conditions weigh you down. Okay. There you are. My time's up. I'm going to say to you all, this has been the Motivator Show. This is where we translate our words into action and where success is ours for the taking. Praise be, praise be. I'm going to put back the... There we go.